Hey cruisers, welcome to our live stream today. Today we're going to be talking all about solo cruising, going it alone on the high seas. We are so happy to have all of you here. This is a subscriber requested topic. Many of you emailed me, messaged me, sent me notes through social media, DM'd me and said, we've got to talk about solo cruising. We've got to talk about this. So today, this is all about you guys. This is all about getting your questions answered with our wonderful community here. So what we're going to do is spend at least the first half of this live stream today talking all about solo cruising. If you have questions about solo cruising or expert tips, feel free to push them into the comments anytime that you would like. Today's live stream is sponsored by cruiseline.com, where you can review cruise prices from tons of different sites with easy to use cruise search. And I want to welcome those of you who are new to Cruise Tips TV. This is a wonderful community, and the community at cruiseline.com is awesome too. So if you haven't already checked them out, be sure to take a peek at cruiseline.com's website using the link in the description box below. You're going to love what you find there. So everybody, how are we doing? I see that we've got a lot of crazy weather right now throughout the US and Canada and all over the place. So everybody hang in there and please, please be safe. Huge shout out to Alexander for being the first person in the live chat today, and a very special, warm and cozy shout out to Mike and Cheryl who are joining us in the live stream today. You guys live from the high seas on Crown Princess, very special friends of ours. So thank you so much to all of you for joining us today. We are so happy to have you here. So Mr. Cruise Tips TV, roll the chat. Chop, chop. I don't know why I just did that. I just said chop, chop. So our next live stream, you guys, mark your calendars. 2 weeks from today, Saturday, January 27th, where we are going to introduce another subscriber-inspired topic, which is our favorite shore excursions of all time. And we want to hear about your favorite shore excursions of all time also. So bring those memories, tell us all about it, tell us where you went, and all about your experiences on January 27th, noon Pacific time, right here at Cruise Tips TV. So a lot of you have been following us on social media and on YouTube lately, and you know that we made a very spontaneous road trip last weekend to the Queen Mary, which is a decommissioned cruise ship that is permanently stationed in Long Beach, California. The Queen Mary, is now basically a historical exhibit. It sailed the high seas from the 1930s to the 1960s, and its final resting place, if you will, was Long Beach, California, where it now serves as a place for people to have a myriad of different types of events. It serves as a hotel. It has many restaurants, including an amazing brunch. And it is just a very special place to go if you are in Long Beach, California. So we made the trip and had a blast. Now, a lot of you have been asking me this week on social media and on YouTube if we had any experiences with paranormal activity or hauntings or anything like that on the Queen Mary. And the short answer is no, we didn't. But I did want to tell you guys, we did have one funny kind of weird thing happen right when we got on the ship that I thought would be funny to share with you. I didn't want to spoil it and tell everybody who was asking me throughout the week. I wanted to tell you guys live what happened and just see what you think. I'm sure it's just a funny coincidence, but we got on the ship. They let us check in a little bit early, a couple of hours early. So we're like, oh, this is so exciting. Let's put down our bags and then go start exploring the ship and go have a live stream with you guys from the back of the ship, which is what we did. Well, after the live stream, we went back to our room to, just regroup, take a shower, get ready for dinner, whatever. And the little do not disturb sign had been placed into our keyhole. Well, I certainly did not put it there, and my husband didn't put it there, and my son didn't put it there. So I am the only one who noticed it, and I was like, you guys, I didn't put that in there. It's not nighttime. I only put the do not disturb sign up at night when we're sleeping, because why would you put it up during the day when you're not in your room, right? So we thought that was a little weird. The hair stood up on the back of my neck a little bit, but we realized it was probably just the housekeeping staff or something that added it there. But do you guys think that's a little bit weird? I thought it was a little bit weird. It was my very, very early experience on the Queen Mary too. So we had a great time. We did go on the Haunted Encounters tour. And for those of you who are considering it with children, do not worry. It is very kid-friendly. We very carefully researched that before we went on the tour, because obviously we don't want to expose our son to anything scary. He is sensitive to stuff like that. So He was fine. He loved it. He even volunteered to lead the group down a scary hallway. They're mostly telling stories and things like that. So there's really nothing that is not kid-friendly on those tours if you're considering. There were several children under the age of 10 on our tour, and all of them were fine. None of them got spooked. It was really, really fun. Highly recommend that if you do go to the Queen Mary that you do take one of the tours. It really helps. And the guides are amazing. They're just lovely and informative, and they'll answer any number of questions. And they're all history buffs, so they love talking about the history of the ship. So popping into the chat for just a moment and seeing how everybody's doing. Let's get started today. Let's see here. Is everything going okay? In the chat over here, I see Alexander asking when the stream will begin, but the stream should have already started, Alexander. So hopefully you can see that there. Okay, wonderful. All right, you guys, let's get started and talk all about solo cruising today. One of the things that's so exciting about Cruise Tips TV and our community here is that there is so much combined knowledge with our community that we really have all of these resources that are quite amazing. And over the years, as we've grown our channel, this community has grown to be a super community of knowledge. And we asked some of our solo cruising experts in our community to send us their tips and tricks on solo cruising, and the response was overwhelming. We got some emails that are absolutely amazing. So what I'm going to do today is share with you guys those emails first, because these tips are rich and wonderful, and I really want to get this information out there. But keep in mind that if you have any questions about solo cruising, you are certainly welcome to ask them now, and Mr. Cruise Tips TV will be watching out. Whoever asked about my drink, this today is a LaCroix lime flavor, my favorite drink. I love these. There's nothing in them other than sparkling water and a little bit of flavoring. I don't like consuming a lot of artificial sweetener or anything like that. And just so you guys know, I'm doing dry January, no alcohol for the whole month of January, which I love to do. I do it often. I think it's just a nice way to kind of reset the beginning of the year. Hasn't been easy because, you know, during the holidays you get a little comfortable and picking up a cocktail a little bit more often than usual. I was drinking eggnog on the regular, and it was just time for a reset. So LaCroix for me, but it's going well. So let's talk about these expert cruise tips, and then I'm going to share a couple of my favorite articles with you about solo cruising and some tips on how to choose cruise lines, the 5 best cruise lines for solo travelers. And we're going to talk about studio cabins on cruise ships and what those options are. We pulled some awesome expert information from cruiseline.com, and we're going to be sharing that with you. So let's start today, you guys, with an email from Poppy all about solo cruising. And Alexander, you already got your shout out earlier. I think you were having trouble in the live stream, so go watch the replay and you'll see it. So Poppy says today her first tip for traveling solo is to sign up with cruiseline.com for the roll calls. That's where you'll get to know the other cruisers before you go. You set up a meet and greet and get to know other get to go to fun get-togethers. Poppy, I love that tip so much. You guys know, if you follow me on Shipmate app or on cruiseline.com, you know that I love the roll calls. I join them. They're a wonderful place. You can interact at whatever level you want, guys. You don't have to be an active participant if you don't want to, but you certainly can, like Poppy suggested. All right. So Poppy said Norwegian lets solo travelers join in the nightly solo lounge get-togethers for those who are staying in solo rooms. Poppy also says, remember, you don't have to be alone if you don't want to be. You can put yourself out there, dance, water slide, chat up a storm. It's your vacation, and you never know who you might meet. Poppy also says, let's see here, that she's made lifelong friends. She even talks to some of the people that she's met on board after her trip, and it doesn't have to be scary or uncomfortable to do a solo cruise. Now we're going to read some wonderful tips from Barb Lynn, who I know is here in the chat today. Hello, Barb. I think you're here. I saw you earlier. Barb sent us a very comprehensive email about her cruising experience. Now, keep in mind that out of the 22 cruises that Barb has been on, she's been on 6 solo cruises and 3 this year. So she has experienced both. So we are going to talk all about some of the things that she mentions here. Barb said that she's found that every cruise line is a little different when pricing for the solo traveler. Some will have just double the single price, and some will give a little bit of a discount. And then there are ships that have one price for solo cruisers. So the main solo cabins available from the big cruise companies, we're going to go into more depth on this later here, is our NCL, Royal Caribbean, and Holland America. So she goes into some depth on that, which we'll cover later. But really hot tip from Barb today, you guys, is that if you're cruising solo, you got to book these cabins early because these are kind of coveted spaces. And Barb said you probably want to book these solo cabins 12 to 24 months in advance, sometimes even right when those new itineraries are announced, and make sure that you don't miss out. Now, this is another really good one from Barb today. She says, remember, you don't have to have a big personality or be outgoing to cruise solo. You will meet people in all sorts of activities while on board or even on a port excursion. She's even met people in the hot tub, which I love. That's so funny. That's where I would meet somebody, Barb. You know it. I think that's really important to talk about, you guys, because not everyone who's cruising solo maybe necessarily wants to meet a lot of people. Maybe you want to mellow out. And if that's your style, make sure that you watch our past episode on cruising for introverts. We did a little episode on that. And if you go to videos and search the word introvert on our channel, you will find that video. It's a lot of fun. All right, Barb goes on to say that dining can be a great experience in meeting new people. Carnival will actually try to put solo cruisers at the same table, which is nice. Another great way to meet people is excursions. If you can go on an excursion with a small bus or a smaller group, that might be a little bit of a better way to do it. And Barb says that traveling solo offers a pace that you create for your own needs. Barb likes to read and loves to find those quiet, less crowded areas of the ship to explore and then lose yourself in a good book. But when she wants to get back out there with people or activities, she does it on her own terms. I love that. And I think that's why a lot of people like cruising solo, is you can shape the trip into what you want it to be. All right, last tip from her is, remember, you'll most likely never see these people again, so don't worry about what you look like in a bathing suit or wearing those hot pink yoga pants to the gym. Dance like no one's watching, laugh until your sides hurt, sing along with the music, and just have a great time. Oh, and take lots of selfies. So thank you, Barb, for this comprehensive outline of tips for cruisers. I thought that that was very helpful information. Let's talk about Sandra's tip for getting a good deal on a cruise. Sandra said that she thinks it's a good idea to watch for last-minute deals because she contacted her travel agent and said, hey, look, I've got some free time. What can you find for me? She got an entire room for herself for less than $300 on a 4 to 5 day cruise out of Miami, and said if you're really patient and you work with a travel agent, they can maybe hook you up. So another tip is that if you have a bottle of wine at dinner, remember that the dining staff can recork it and serve it to you each night. So don't be afraid to order a bottle of wine if you're a solo cruiser. Great tips, Miss Sandra D. Thank you so much. Now we have one from Rena, who I believe is here. Hi, Rena. She says here another really great comment on getting out of your comfort zone. She says, solo travel is a choice one makes for a certain kind of travel experience. It forces the traveler out of his or her safety zone. It usually results in extremely rewarding experiences, often leading to new friendships, and makes one feel pretty good about their own courage and self-reliance skills. Dinner can often be the most intimidating situation for a solo. Yeah, I agree, that probably is. Rena has found that a large table with 6 to 10 people with the same diners every night works best. Your table mates are only strangers for the first night. Rena says also that being able to do whatever you want without consulting or compromising with another person is travel freedom at its best. So thank you, Rena, for sharing your experiences and tips with us. Those are awesome and we appreciate it. Tracy Williams has a tip for us today. She said that she has always cruised solo and is always looking for solo bargain prices. She found one and booked, let's see here. She found the deal, you guys, on a cruising solo Facebook page, and 8 other solo cruisers also booked into this cruise. And then she created a Facebook group for everyone to communicate. And they all met up on the first night of the cruise and had an amazing time throughout the cruise, and they're all still friends. So Tracy's basically telling you, you can create a small scale group cruise of solo travelers here. That is an awesome one, Tracy. Thank you. Very creative tip. So go search out those solo cruiser Facebook pages, guys. That's a really good one. Okay, our last subscriber email today, I'm sorry, it's not nighttime at all. Where have I been? Comes from Richard Scott. Richard said solo cruising is the only cruising I know. He's been on 2 cruises in the past 2 years and 2 more booked. He has some advice for us. He says, be open to anything and anyone on the ship. Start conversations with anybody. I find that anyone will chat it up on a cruise. And Norwegian, go to some of the solo cruiser meet and greets. It's a great place to meet other soloists. And if you want to find someone to dine with, that is a good starting point. However, don't be afraid to do something or dine somewhere by yourself. Because if you won't try it, you could miss out on something wonderful. He said, I tried snails for the first time on Escape and they were yummy. Just relax and have fun. So good job, Richard. Those are awesome tips. So what do you guys think about all of our subscriber expertise? Pretty good stuff, right? I like the specific nature of all of those tips and I think that it's awesome. Now, before we get into Q&A today, I want to share with you guys an article from cruiseline.com. It's written by Sherry at cruiseline.com, and it's the 5 best cruise lines for solo travelers. So I'm going to go over this article with you, and then I will link to it after this live stream is saved to replay. I will either link to it in the comments or description. I'm not sure which yet, but we will get that in there for you. So we're going to talk about all of the 5 that are offered here and some of the different things that are offered by each of these cruise lines. So the first is Norwegian Cruise Line, and the ships that offer solo traveler kind of benefits or perks or solo cabins, if you will, are Norwegian Breakaway, Norwegian Epic, Getaway, and Pride of America. Some of the cool features is that on their newest ships, they have interior studio cabins that are very high in style. They're sleek, and they also have a private lounge space with private TVs, with TVs and a bar. So next, Costa Cruises, or Costa, depending on how you like to pronounce that, has many, many ships that offer them. And from what we hear about Costa is that the cabins fill up very quickly, so you'll want to nab one. And if you do, you'll have an easy time meeting fellow solo travelers. The line hosts meet and greets parties on every sailing of these ships, so that's good to know. Cunard's Queen Elizabeth also offers solo cruising cabins. I wonder too if maybe some of their other ships do now. Let me know if you guys know about that. They have 8 ocean view and 1 inside cabin to choose from, and they're very, very elegant, as all of the Britannia category staterooms are, and a bit bigger than some of the other cruise line offerings. So Cunard has larger staterooms for solo travelers. Now on to our number 4, which is Royal Caribbean International, Anthem of the Seas, Brilliance of the Seas, Quantum, Radiance, and Serenade. And probably this article might be a little older, guys, so maybe the newer ships have them too. They were the first line to launch single cabins in 2011, and now they're putting them on their newest builds as well. They also have exterior staterooms for solo travelers, and they have private balconies too. Good information there. I love it. So last but not least is Holland America, you guys. Holland America has some studio cabins on their ships, and there's also some other things I found about Holland America that I thought was kind of cool. They have a roommate matching service. Has anyone ever used this and know if they still offer that? They also offer onboard singles activities on Holland America, and on some of their voyages, they have dance hosts, which I think is pretty cool. The next article that we want to share today, you guys, is from Thomas at cruiseline.com, and this is all about the studio cabins on cruise ships. What are the different options for studio cabins? And Thomas kind of starts off by saying, look, hey, 10, 15 years ago, these cabins were virtually unheard of, but now it's one of the fastest growing trends in the cruise industry. So he talks all about the size of them, the average size, and how they're a little bit smaller, and then talks about who has the best studio cabins. And then he goes on to talk about Norwegian Epic, Escape, Breakaway, Getaway, Pride of America, and the Norwegian Bliss. Kind of a repeat of what I already referenced earlier here, but you know, sharing the fact that there is a private studio complex with a social lounge and TV area where social travelers can meet and mingle. And then talks about Royal Caribbean's different studio categories for balcony and interior, and the fact that the balconies have about 55 square foot of space, and even goes into talking about the bed sizes. So if you want to look at the bed sizes and the cabin sizes, check this article out in the description below when this is saved. Holland America. Koningsdam and Prison Dam, I think this article is a little more up to date, talking about these newer ships, and that all of their studio cabins are actually ocean view, you guys. And the Prison Dam's 3 studio cabins are actually the same size as a standard stateroom, so that's a perk to booking with Holland America. Updated information from Cunard in this article that Queen Elizabeth, Queen Victoria, and the QM2 have the studio cabins, and that they have some of the largest studio cabins at sea, nearly all of which are ocean view, and they have plenty of storage space and a wardrobe. So that's nice. This article also talks about P&O cruises and AMA waterways and Viking and Costa. So there's a lot more information in it. If you'd like to learn a little bit more about the river cruising options, I will link to that as well. So I hope that was helpful. I'd love to get into the chat now and see what everybody is offering up with tips and what we have for questions. Mr. Cruise Tips TV, what can I start with? Okay, one moment, Mr. Cruise Tips TV tells me he is going to check and see what we have going on. I'm just catching up with the chat, everybody. Lots going on today.
Okay, we had one from Just Drea, and
Okay.
she wants to know if there is time. Can we talk about Carnival's new room service policy?
Okay, sure. Just Drea, Carnival's new room service policy. We can definitely talk about that. I'd prefer to talk about the general Q&A a little bit later, but I can answer this quickly for you. We did post an article on our Facebook page this week about it, and also on Twitter if you want to read more. But starting January 14th, Carnival will be charging for room service in the late night hours, which the items will range starting from $2 and up. What was happening is that they were seeing a lot of food waste from people who were getting the late night munchies and ordering room service, so they charge for the late night service only. Daytime room service still has free items and upcharge items. So Just Drea, that was a really quick summary, but hopefully that was good to start with. Ready?
All right.
Any solo cruising questions or comments that we can start with?
Well, we've got something from Stacy Miller. And
Okay.
Stacy says, hi, I'm 15 and I'm going on my first cruise this year with my mom and her friend. Do you have any advice for where to find friends my age? So she's kind of
How old is she?
solo. She's 15.
Okay, Stacy, so if you're going on a cruise and you're 15, the good news is there's still, the teen club still applies to you. It's harder for kids that are like 18 to 21 to make friends, but I do suggest that what you do is go to the teen club on day one, and that's where you're probably going to kind of start off those friendships. If the line that you're cruising with doesn't have a teen club, then look in your newsletter and find some teen meet and greets. They usually hold them on just about every cruise line on the first day. Okay.
Okay, I've got another one from Glenn Andrews.
Glenn Andrews, okay?
Do all cruise lines have solo cabins now?
No, Glenn, not all cruise lines have solo cabins. They're getting there, but they don't. I think we're going to probably see a trend for that very, very soon. Roxanne says she can hear you very clearly, Mr. Cruise Tips TV. Very good. Thank you, Roxanne. We wondered about that. It has literally, guys, taken us 6 months to a year to fine-tune the microphone situation for Mr. Cruise Tips TV, and I don't even know if it's fine-tuned now. Why are you shaking your head? No, he's nervous about it. That's why. So anyway, I'm glad you can hear him. I know that it was annoying before to have him sort of, you could kind of hear him talking in the background, but you couldn't hear what he said, and I had to repeat the question, so we've been wanting to do this. Flyover Country wants to know what mic you're using.
Right.
It's kind of confusing because it's a headset, actually.
Yeah, for myself, I'm just using kind of a cheap gaming headset.
Yeah.
I don't even know what it is.
He's using a cheap gaming headset. I'm trying to look at the brand on the side.
Sades,
All of the
S-A-D-E-S.
SADES is the name of the brand. We tried every professional microphone on the market, and it was a nightmare. So, you know.
It just added a level of complexity that I didn't want to deal with.
Yeah. Exactly. All right, guys, Dawn's Family Vacations is here and definitely has a lot of experience with solo cruising, so I do want to read his tip to you. I think it's very important. He says, don't automatically think solo cabins are the cheapest cabin. They are not half the cost of an inside cabin. I only paid $100 more for an 8-day cruise for a cabin 50% larger than solo cabins offered. Okay, well, that's good to know. So you made the choice to sail an inside cabin at single occupancy instead of booking a solo cabin. That's good advice. And Barb Lynn said no, and Carnival has no plans for solo cabins. So going back to the question about do all the lines have them, that is correct. Barb is correct. It is true. Carnival does not in the foreseeable future have plans to add solo cabins. That's not in their strategic plan right now. Okay. Hazel said, question, what if you want a balcony? Do you have to pay extra if going solo? So Hazel, it really depends on the way the cruise line works. So if the cruise line does not have single cabins, what you do is you have to pay the single supplement to cruise in that cabin. So that single supplement varies from cruise line to cruise line. A few cruise lines do have single balcony cabins, but like Dawn's Family Vacation said, it doesn't mean that they're going to be half the price. Okay. All right, let's see here. Crystal Francis has a question, you guys, and I do need help with this one. She's wondering if anyone has any tips for solo cruisers who are handicapped, and does anyone know if any of the lines have solo handicapped rooms? Please let us know. Okay. Very good. Pauline has some reassuring news that she had a client who had a balcony cabin with Carnival and was a solo traveler. He only paid $200 more than his parents. So it can be done, guys. I think the key here is also to work with a travel agent and to make sure that you have someone looking after your best interest there. That can be very helpful. Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, I have an older question from Hazel.
Okay.
She says she travels alone a lot, but she's more hesitant to eat alone. Any tips for eating alone?
Sure, Hazel. Hazel, I don't have to repeat the question anymore because you guys can hear Mr. Cruise Tips TV. My tip for eating alone would be to ask the maitre d' on embarkation day. Go to the office hours for the maitre d' on embarkation day and ask them for your own table. Ask them for a table for one, which is probably going to be a table for two. But if you want to be solo, ask for that right up front. You will be able to open up your cruise newsletter right when you board and see when the maitre d' has those hours. Most major cruise lines offer you that opportunity. I also highly recommend that you try the specialty dining restaurants if you have the budget, because I think that can be a wonderful experience for a solo cruiser to go and dine on those different options, and they will most certainly, on request, give you a table that is private if you wish for it. Okay. Excellent, excellent questions, everyone. Hopefully we can help Crystal out with her handicap question. I'm ready, Mr. Cruise Tips TV.
I have one from Lori Camp. You might have already answered, but
okay.
The question was, do all lines have solo cabins? Now,
right.
She's following up with which ones do have.
Okay, sure, no problem. Not all lines do have solo cabins. At this time, the ones that have them that I'm aware of are Norwegian, Royal Caribbean, Holland America, Cunard, P&O, AMA Waterways, Viking River Cruises, and Costa. Those are the ones that I'm aware of. So, you're not going to find them on Princess, Celebrity, or Carnival that I'm aware of. But if anybody knows differently, please let us know. All right, I'm ready for the next question.
Okay, we're getting into the not solo cruising questions here.
Not solo cruising questions. Okay, can I make a little statement here though, real quick before we do that? If I've missed your solo cruising questions, guys, just retype them. The chat slows down a little bit as we get into this point, and I will be able to see them. So please don't be offended if we miss them. Just retype your question. And I'm ready, Mr. Cruise Tips TV.
All right, our friend Roxanne Hayes says, where do you go to see itineraries announced in brand new just released cruise news?
Well, it varies a little bit, Roxanne. Probably the best thing to do would be to follow the main Facebook pages that are cruise related that have press releases on them. And if you follow Cruise Tips TV, Cruise Fever, Cruise Radio, places like that, we will release via press release when new itineraries come out when we can. Now, if the cruise lines don't email us their press releases in time, sometimes we don't get them up, but you can also follow the websites of each of those different cruise lines. You can also follow the boards, the forums, the message boards on cruiseline.com and watch for those releases there. If you're active on those forums, they're probably going to be, people will be very up to the minute in their chat about when those releases happen. I don't know of a single website or resource for that. Do you, Mr. Cruise Tips TV? Can you think of a single website or resource that says the new itinerary for 2019 is out now?
Yes, our website does that.
Our website does that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. Every morning I look and I post
for press releases.
Press releases.
So we like I kind of said before, and like Mr. Cruise Tips TV is saying right now, we do our best when we're given the information, but sometimes we go seek it out and it's not there yet, but we try. So I will try to post all of those press releases on our Facebook page. And you can always follow us at cruisetipstv.com, our regular webpage as well. Okay. Tiara Martin wants to know, how can I make friends? I'm going alone. That is such a good question, Tiara. There's so many different ways that you can make friends. I'm going to give you several. 1, look in your newsletter for singles get-togethers. 2, sit at a table with other people at dinner. Ask your maitre d' if there are other solo cruisers on board and if you can be seated with them. Be bold. Go on shore excursions to meet people there. Get out and about the ship and participate in different activities. You will meet people that way, guaranteed. Cruisers are some of the most friendly people in the world, and they want to talk to you most of the time, unless you're on the world's most uptight cruise, but I doubt that that is the case. Christine said that most of the cruise lines she signed up with will email you that type of news. So yes, if you're on the mailing list for whatever website, they should email you their release of their itineraries. Thank you very much. Okay. All right. Chevy's and First said, question, driving to the port versus flying, if it's almost the same cost. If it's almost the same cost, I'm going to fly, probably, but it depends on how long the drive is. My threshold for driving is about 5 hours. Anything more than that's a little bit too far for me. Okay. Gail, we did not see the Diana exhibit on the Queen Mary this time. We just simply ran out of time, but we do hope to return. So, good question. Okay, Darlene said, finally got my husband to book January 2019 on Horizon. My second cruise is in May on Vista to Aruba with my BFF. Question is, how can I expect to get more information on Horizon, excursions, etc.? You will be able to watch the Carnival website and go into your cruise personalizer on Carnival and watch for that. But since it's so far away, the excursions are not going to be released for a little while. So be patient and see what you can find. Okay, basically Riley said, where are some places I can get cute clothes for a Caribbean cruise? Basically, Riley, this is a hard time of year to cruise shop, isn't it? I completely understand. I don't know how old you are, and that would kind of probably determine my answer to know what your style is, but I can tell you where I shop. I'm in my 40s, so kind of in the middle there somewhere, but at this time of year, if I have to buy clothes for a cruise, I'm probably going to go to a mall and I'm going to look for a swimsuit shop or something like that where I can find swimsuits, cover-ups, and resort wear in that store any time of year. And then I'm probably going to shop somewhere like Macy's or another large department store, which does tend to have some essential things that you might need year-round, like swimsuits. Believe it or not, sometimes Target will also sell swimsuits year-round, so those are some ideas that I have for you. I shop also quite a bit at Express and Old Navy as well, but that's a bit tricky because they don't have much resort wear this time of year either. Okay. Sean Ingle said, what is your opinion about mega cruise ships? My opinion is that if you're a big city person, you'll like mega ships. If you're a country guy or gal, you might not. That's probably the most succinct way that I can put it. We enjoy mega ships, but we prefer not to be on mega ships because we like to be a little closer to the sea. We like the small ship experience, and we also find that the cruise service is a little bit more intimate on smaller ships. So, all right. I would like to answer some questions that came in this week from subscribers that I promised answers for. But first of all, what I'd like to do you guys remember when I was on the Queen Mary and we were doing our live stream and we did a little call for help for one of our subscribers who has recently lost a lot of weight, and she is going to be cruising soon and wanted our advice on how she can feel confident. Her name was Jeannie Ray. She wants to she feels like when she's in a bathing suit, she feels like she's wearing a skin suit because she has extra skin after weight loss. And she wanted our advice, guys, on what to do to feel more confident in that situation. And in our last live stream, I offered her some suggestions, but I would love to hear yours and I would like to read them. Doreen wants to know, private or ship-sponsored excursions, which do you prefer? Doreen, when we were newer cruisers, we did a lot of ship-sponsored excursions, and as we're growing to be more seasoned, we're moving away from that, going to our own booking, but we're very careful about who we book with, and we would only book with a provider that is very well recommended on something like TripAdvisor, and that promises to get us back to the ship on time. So hope that helps. Okay, I'm seeing a lot more questions come in. Good tips on swimsuits, guys. JCPenney, Target, yes, very, very good. Carrie I'm so sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. Carrie Marshall said, do you think the price of cruises continue to go up as the cruise gets closer, or do you think it fluctuates? I've been eyeing a cruise and wanted to see what would happen at wave season, or any thoughts? Well, Carrie, you're in the middle of wave season right now, so the price should be probably on the lower side right now as wave season goes. You may, depending on the cruise line, see the prices drop if the ship is not booking those cabins. Otherwise, the prices generally go up unless the cruise is not booking. Okay, Don's Family Vacations offering a tip on cruise wear. He likes to pick up cruise wear at his first port. You can normally find some great choices and a wide choice of stores. Good tip, Don, because, and I think I almost knocked my chair over, guys. A lot of people will do that to save weight in their luggage. I've heard Scott Singer Cruises talk about doing that in Alaska, buying your outerwear when you get to Alaska. Excellent tip. Okay. Nancy L., European solo cruising? Absolutely yes, I would say. Okay. Ava Reynolds wants to know, how do NCL formal nights work? Ava, they are optional. You will see in the your cruise newsletter that they will be called dress up or not night or something like that. You do not have to dress up. If you do not want to, it is an option, but you will see a lot of people dress for formal night or not, informal night or not. Okay. Let's see here. Brooke said, have you ever used the Carnival Hub app when you sailed Carnival? Yes, we have, and yes, we like it. Totally used it. Okay. When is the best time? Gwen says to go on an inside passage cruise. Gwen, we like May. We are not in the norm. We find it cheaper, less crowded, and we've had better weather in late May. Emma Kate said, are there large group discounts? If there are, how many cabins do you need to order to get a discount? You probably, Emma Kate, need to order 8 to get a free, one free person. And you probably need to book 16 cabins to get 2 free people. That's a generalization. Any travel agents in the house can speak up and correct me. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and continue with some of the questions that came in this week so that we do not forget our friends here, guys. And hopefully I can get your help in answering these. All right, Judy said, my daughter is going on Liberty of the Seas, Royal Caribbean, in February. 8 days, 7 nights. She is handicapped, uses canes to walk. We're trying to get her a scooter. So no worries there, but do you have tips for accessible excursions, guys? Accessible excursions in Cozumel, Georgetown, Grand Cayman, and Falmouth, Jamaica. Please let us know. She's traveling with a friend, but we need help with excursions. I don't have answers on those. Next question is from Tim Byer. Tim's Alaskan cruise ends in Vancouver. He wants to know if there's anything in Vancouver near the ship port that would be within walking distance that is worth seeing that would prompt Tim to take a later flight out in Vancouver. So Vancouver folks, let us know. Okay, Dawn's Family Vacation said I was correct about the group cabins. Happy Zorro has just given us a super chat. Thank you, Happy Zorro, very, very much. High five, we really appreciate it. For those of you who don't know, Super Chat is a way to make a financial contribution to Cruise Tips TV. We do not expect it, we do not request it, but it is an option if you press that button. Thank you so much, we do appreciate it. But again, you guys don't have to do that. We love you anyway, okay? Let's see here. Sean said, question on Princess. How's the best way to make friends? What do you think, guys? What's the best way to make friends on Princess? I would say to go to the solo meet and greets would be a wonderful way to start. And maybe choose to have dinner with some other folks that you've never met before. And if you don't like them on the first night, ask to be seated at another table. That's okay too. Okay. Kawana Hardy said, I meant to ask you, do you suggest always taking cruise line sponsored excursions for female solo travelers? Not necessarily, Kawana. It depends on the port. If you're in a, if maybe you were in a port that was had a little bit less of a safety reputation, maybe, but not necessarily. And you might end up with a group anyway, okay? So, Bonnie Bergstein said that for our friend that asked about the accessible excursions at the cruise ships list, the accessible excursions. Wonderful tip, Bonnie. Very simple, very good tip. Let's see here. Roxanne said, comment on the safety of solo cruising. Already seen some great suggestions. Definitely not concerned, generally speaking, guys. You would want to follow the same rules for safety that you would traveling as a solo anywhere. In a port, I would avoid wearing glitzy diamonds and jewelry, but I would recommend that to anyone. Always just be aware of your surroundings. Don't get in a cab with someone that you don't feel comfortable with. Those general common sense rules would apply, but as far as the cruise itself, cruises in general, guys, they're very safe. They're very contained. They have security on board. Of course, we're going to hear about incidents where that is not the case, but you know, don't be wandering around alone at 2 o'clock in the morning up to no good. You know, these things that you hear about generally happen during very late night hours or when people put themselves in compromising situations. Of course, there are exceptions to that. Of course, there are evil people in the world, but we've got to be safe and be aware. All right. Lots to see, so please bear with me. Megan Leaf Ewing has a suggestion for Jeannie Ray, our subscriber who's lost a lot of weight. She said, get a one piece with a skirted bottom, and if you're unhappy with your arms, wear UV rash guards. Good tip, Megan. Thank you so much. Cara Long said, if you do prepaid gratuities, do you do any other tipping while on board? You can slide $1 or $2 here and there to the bartenders if you want. You can give an extra 10 or 20 to your stateroom steward and your dining staff, but you don't have to. You're gonna need tips on shore maybe, or small bills on shore, and for the luggage porters, baggage porters on day one who help you at the curb. All right, yes. Mr. Cruise Tips TV, what?
You know what? I just want to say thanks so much to Eve Sharp, because not just for the super chat, but because she's always there, always contributing. Thank you. We do notice, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Eve. We do notice, our little notification squad. And thank you, Jen P, for the super chat as well. You guys do not have to do this. I repeat, you do not have to do this.
Okay, let's get a couple of questions that we missed.
Okay, I'm ready.
This is from way back. Dylan LaRue.
Dylan?
If I purchase unlimited drink packages on Princess, will I be able to get sushi at Vines Bar?
Sushi or the wine at Vines? Does the unlimited drink package cover the wine at Vines?
You know
the sushi's included. It's free at Vines. So I'm going to try to just stick with the question. Whether or not the wine is included at Vines, wine up to a certain value level per glass should be included to answer that question. Okay, I'm ready for the next.
Okay, here's another one, and we may need clarification. This is from Travel Critic.
Okay, Travel Critic.
What ages would you recommend for solo cruisers?
Like, what would be the youngest age for a solo cruiser? I mean, I think by the time you're 21, you might cruise anywhere, or you might travel anywhere solo. So I guess I'd say maybe not before the age of 21, but I'm really not an expert on that. Would I have cruised alone before the age of 21? I probably wouldn't have cruised alone at the age of 21. So I honestly don't know the answer to that question, but maybe some other folks would like to weigh in here in the chat.
All right, you may have answered. This is from Cara Long. If you do prepaid gratuities, do you do any other tipping while on board?
Yeah, we got that one.
Okay, good.
We got that one. I'm seeing one come in from Gate Girl 2262 that says, how do solo travelers in scooters or chairs getting their luggage on and off the luggage carousel at the airport or cruise port? Well, there is no carousel at the cruise port, Gate Girl. So at the cruise port, you would simply have someone help you get the luggage out of the transfer bus, the trunk, the taxi cab, whatever. There will be porters there to help you. As far as the airport, I can't answer that. Not 100% sure how that would work. Gwen wants to know if we have any recommendations for a good selfie stick. Gwen, we have a really fun selfie stick that we did a video review of on our Cruise Gear channel. I think if Gwen goes over to Cruise Gear and clicks on videos and searches for selfie, it'll come up. Try that, Gwen. All right. Things are coming in fast. You guys, please forgive me if I am missing your question. I'm trying to scroll. Poppy said she cruised at 24 alone very comfortably. Okay. Ariana confirms that sushi at Vines Bar is included, but if you get the unlimited drink package, your wine is also included in the package. Thank you. Ms. Mary wants to know When does RCCL let you purchase spa, etc. before your cruise? She cruises in August. What do you guys think? Is it about 120 days? I think it's probably about 120 days. Okay. Bonnie said that wheelchair assist at the airport. Someone always grabs her luggage for her. Very good. Okay. Dylan, lots of good information in the chat from people coming in here about the age that they suggest that you could cruise alone comfortably. Okay. Fran A said full Panama Canal transit in May. Which one excursion should we not miss? Fran, I don't know your ports. We stayed on the ship on our Panama day and we were so glad we did. But if I were to do it again and I had a full transit, I might do the railway in Panama. That might be good. I might go on one of the excursions to see the Embera Indians. I will say that our excursion in Limon, Costa Rica with Your Lucky Tour was very much personalized to our family's needs and we loved it. We went to Cahuita National Park, we went to a fruit stand, and we also went on the Tortuguero canals. We saw sloths. If any of you follow me on Facebook and Instagram, you've seen photos of sloths, beautiful flowers, beautiful fruits. That was lovely. And I know that you guys have heard me expressed some concern about the carriage ride tour in Cartagena. It really was a very interesting tour. It's just the lack of restroom availability was very off-putting to me. I would recommend that you go see the fort in Cartagena, Colombia, if you have the opportunity. We stopped at the fort for a photo and wished we had spent the day there, so that might be a good thing. Okay. Bonnie wants to know if the Regal Princess has a thermal suite and an indoor therapy pool. Bonnie, I think so. I'm not 100% sure, but I do believe so. Okay. Barbara wants to know how to access Happy Chat. That's so cute. Are you talking about Super Chat? There should be a big button on there that says Super Chat, but I love that you call it Happy Chat. You just completely made my day. Okay. More questions, Cruise Tips TV, Mr. Guy? Mr. Dude over there? You got anything for me?
We're knocking them out.
We're knocking them out? Okay. Let me know what questions I've missed, you guys. We have 15 more minutes. I'm happy to spend it answering as many as I can. Any more solo cruising questions, please type them in the chat right now, and we will do our best as a team, everyone here, to answer them for you. All right. Wow, Dakota, you're currently watching from the airport en route to Miami. You board the Navigator tomorrow. Fantastic. Okay. Night Audit said when they did the full transit, there were no excursions offered on Coral Princess for that day. So because you didn't stop in Gatun Lake, there were no excursions. So you passed all the way through. Night Audit, did you do any excursions that you would recommend on your full transit that you'd like to share with us? If you did, please let us know. Barb Lynn did the Embera Indian excursion, and it was amazing. Barb Lynn, that one looks so good to me. I loved it. Okay. Kawana Hardy said, I can't wait to see your Panama Canal videos. Kawana, we just finished our Alaska series. That took a while, right? We were really busy kids. So we're getting to those now. We're going to try to put together a fun 2017 year-end review video first, but I've been putting a lot of teasers out on Facebook and Instagram of our photos and mini videos. So hope that you've been enjoying those, Kawana, in the meantime. Eve, you've never seen a sloth before. It is the most precious thing in the world. They are so cute. They are so immobile and still. They also have this look about them that's like, we're terrified of you. I can't explain it, but they really looked scared of us. And it made me think, oh, give them space, you know? Stars wants to know, when on the beach, what do we do with our belongings? We don't take much with us, but when I go in the water, if one of us isn't staying with our stuff, I take a little plastic thing that goes around my neck that I can put my cash or my credit card into really fast. And we just don't take many belongings with us. Sometimes I'll just leave my phone with my husband and try to do it that way. Okay. Barb Lynn said solo cruisers usually have very happy stateroom attendants because they're only cleaning for one person. That is really funny. Oh my goodness sakes. Ariana is telling Tim Byer to go to Granville Island in Vancouver. Excellent tip. Thank you very much. Mark wants to know, what is the average age of solo cruisers? He's in his mid-50s and considering a solo cruise this year. It depends on the cruise line. mark, you're going to find that the average age is going to vary. So if you're on Princess or Holland America, it's going to be 50, 60 plus probably. But if you're down on Carnival, Norwegian, Royal Caribbean, you're going to find that it's a little bit of a lower age group. So depending on which age group you want to sail with, you're going to want to think about the cruise line you choose and what time of year. Obviously, if you go during spring break, everybody's going to be young. Not everybody, but you're going to have a lot of kids and you're going to have a lot of college kids. So good thing for you to know. Okay, so night audit. Yes, you came up to our side of the world and you went to Mexico. So you said that one of the best excursions in Huatulco was to stop and see the ruins. That's in Mexico, guys. He said it was amazing and the port of Huatulco is incredible. I'd love to go there someday. We haven't been yet. Okay. Yes, Fran, we're going to get more of our Panama Canal cruise coverage up soon. Thank you so much for your patience with that. We cannot edit fast enough. Flyover country, did we not see your question? I'm so sorry. Please retype it. I'm looking and I'm going to do my darndest to get in your question in before we're done. Okay. Anybody have any tips for Cara Long and Princess Keys and Nassau going with Carnival Ecstasy? Any recommendations for what to do? On Princess Keys, you could be entertained doing nothing all day. It's a wonderful beach day. I know people do activities there. If you want a little romance, you could rent one of the sanctuary bungalows. There are no children allowed on that side of the island. We enjoyed the $200 regular bungalow just for a little extra peace and quiet. At minimum, rent a clamshell. Anybody have any suggestions on what she can do in Nassau? Okay. Gwen wants us to at least get one Panama Canal video done before February 15th. Okay, we'll try our best. All right. All right, let's see here. Alicia wants to know, how did our waterproof phone case hold up? I don't like my enclosure. I actually prefer that I have a waterproof phone now, and I prefer using the GoPro. I had trouble pressing the buttons. Okay, right. Let's see here. All right, Jessica, I'll try to put some of the plastic neck protector things on my Amazon store. There's just not very many of them, but I will try. Okay, basically Riley said, do you think Royal Caribbean is good for young teens, 13? Yes, they are the best for teens. Absolutely, yes. Okay, for those who have solo cruised before, guys, what cruise line do you prefer? Let's tell Gate Girl, what is your favorite cruise line? For those of you in the chat who have done solo cruising, or if you're watching the replay later, leave it in the comments. All right, Hazel said, in Nassau, check out the straw market, explore Atlantis, and try to get a catamaran cruise to a private island for snorkeling and lunch. She snorkeled with a baby barracuda once. Awesome. All right, Dawn's Family Vacations recommends Princess K's Stingrays. Dawn, did you make a video about that? I think you did. I think I saw it pop up on my feed today. So we'll have to check that out. Okay, let's see here. Christine said her favorite excursions have been the cruise line private islands. Me too. I love them. I love Princess Keys and Half Moon Key. They're some of my favorites ever. Okay, let's see. There's so many questions coming in, you guys. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get to them as fast as I can. At Princess Keys, do you have to book your excursion through the cruise since it's a cruise on island? Yes, you absolutely do. Yes, the buffet is free, Brooke. The food is free. If you rent a cabana, you could do upcharge food to your cabana, but you don't have to. You could just walk over to the buffet and it's not that far. Okay. Bonnie said sometimes beaches have lockers for your belongings. Excellent. Dawn's Family Vacation said, don't put your waterproof phone in salt water. They will stop working quickly. Yes, Dawn, I promise I won't. I just like knowing that if I splash it a little, it's not going to be the end of the world, but I don't submerge it. Okay, John Garrick said his favorite cruise line for solo cruising is Carnival. Okay, Sean said, I have a question. In Limon, Costa Rica, is it secure? I have friends tell me it's a bit insecure. Yes, you need to be careful who you book with. We felt secure, but not as secure as we do in some places, but we're pretty adventuresome travelers. We vetted our cruise excursion provider very carefully. Be careful, but no, we didn't feel insecure. You will see bars on windows. You will, but go with a good tour provider. Cruising with Wheels believes that Norwegian does the best job for solo cruisers. Good advice, guys. Thank you so much. Jeff Mitchell said that Paul Gauguin was outstanding for solo cruising, and Jeff would know. He got to go to Tahiti, guys. Still jealous, Jeff. I'm still jealous. All right. Barb Lynn said best solo cruise line for her is Holland America. She loves chatting with the older crowd and with all their cruising history. Barb, so do we. That's totally our jam. Jessica Carey said NCL's best for solo. Okay, question coming in from Dustin. We prepaid the gratuities for our cruise on Carnival. We'll be doing some spa sessions like massages and acupuncture. Is it recommended to give gratuity for these sessions? Yeah, 15 to 20% is standard, Dustin. Okay. Ooh, let's see here. MTNAH said, my friends and I are going on a cruise, Royal Caribbean Liberty of the Seas, 21st to the 28th. They're in their 20s and wonder if anybody else their age is going. I imagine they probably are. I don't know if they're here today, but I think they probably are. Jessica said NCL is very modern for the solo cruiser. Okay. Michael Arnold said, no one has answered the question about disabled cabins for solo cruisers. Michael, I don't know if anybody knows just yet. I'm not aware of them being accessible, but we'll see. Maybe somebody will answer it after this is saved to replay in the comments. Barb Lynn said, Carnival solo cruising has been the most price friendly. Very good. All right. And Jen P said that solo cabins are very comfortable. There's plenty of storage and a full-size bed. Okay. Cruising with Wheels said that, Michael, they're emailing NCL to find out, waiting for the answer. Thank you, guys. That was really sweet, Kevin and Frank. Thanks for doing that. Very sweet. Hi, Mama Dot. Welcome. Hope you're feeling better. Princess Keys is one of her favorite views, too. I know. It's very special, isn't it? I'm glad we got to go there together. All right. Bye, Elisa. Have a good one. All right. Mr. CTTV, Hazel's question, did you see it? She wants to know if you have tips for a good basic GoPro model for snorkeling. Hers stopped working in the waterproof case. She needs to get the 6, right?
Well, I would recommend that now. I was holding off recommending the 6 because they had problems and it was $100 more than the 5.
Right.
But they've just dropped the price now and they fixed most of the problems.
And they fixed the bugs.
So
is that the one you put in our shop for me the other day?
I put both of them. I put the 5 and the 6.
Hazel, the 5 and the 6 can be purchased in our Amazon store if you would like. You will not pay more by buying them in our Amazon store. Someone else asked us the same question. The 5 and the 6 are both there. The 6 has been bug fixed. So it is amazon.com/shop/Cruise Tips TV, but Mr. Cruise Tips TV has already linked it in the description below. So definitely check them out. They're at the top of the shop because a lot of people have been asking us for them lately. Okay. Elena said, I think Carnival is good for kids, but honestly, she prefers Royal Caribbean for all ages. Dawn's Family Vacations has been very happy with the GoPro 5, the Hero 5. Okay. We have a few more minutes, guys. We're getting close here. Pauline agrees that GoPro is the best choice for anything underwater. GoPros are a lot of fun too, you guys. Get out of your comfort zone and try a GoPro if you haven't yet. They're getting easier to use. Even I am a little more confident. I don't know if I've ever showed you guys my funny picture where I thought I was filming the ocean and I was filming my face. And I had sand all over my lips because there was a windstorm, and it's the funniest thing ever. I'll try to repost it sometime, but it's really classic. Okay. Let's see here. Christine said she takes a waterproof camera to the beach and to excursions, use her cell phone for pics on the ship. Great idea. Flyover Country said, how difficult is it to get an ocean view table in the MDR? It just depends. It just depends on your level of flexibility, on the cruise line, the cruise ship, the mood of the maitre d', the crowds. Ask for it on night 1, but be prepared to be flexible about what type of table. What I've commonly found is they'll say, sure, you can have an ocean view table if you'll share with other people. So I can't generalize my answer because it's gonna depend. Okay. Let's see here. Christina said, how do you know how to get to your shop on the Amazon app? You've got to start with the website, but you can't, once you go to the website on your phone, it'll ask you if you want to open it in your app. So go to your browser on your phone. Type in the website I listed, amazon.com/shop/Cruise Tips TV. It'll say, do you want to open this in your app? You click the open button and then you're in your app looking at our shop. Okay. What is a proper tip for a taxi driver in Grand Cayman? A couple of extra bucks. $2 or $3 is probably fine. Good question. Chuck Fletcher said, just make sure your GoPro 5 and 6 battery and audio input covers are fully seated before immersing them in water. Chuck, yes, yes, yes. Thank you. Excellent tip. Very, very good. Okay, so Cruising with Wheels, I'm getting a little echo today. Darn it. Oh, shoot. I'm sorry. I think that is why Mr. Cruise Tips TV is turning off his mic in between comments so we don't get that echo, because there are so many problems with him having a mic. Travel Critic, for kids, Carnival or Royal Caribbean, they're both great. It depends on what your financial situation is, where you want to sail from. Look for the line that makes the most sense for you financially and has the itinerary you want, and they'll both be great. They have good ones. Okay, guys, sorry about that. I've got a little hair issue here. All right, we are 1 minute away from needing to wrap up. Let's see if we have any last minute questions. Busy Mama Piranha, not a lot of info on Carnival Panorama now, but when we do, we'll try to make a video about it. Thank you very much. Okay. I'm trying to scan for 1 or 2 last minute questions. All right. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining us today. This has been a very busy chat. I have a feeling I have missed a few questions. Please accept my apologies. Wait until this saves to a replay and leave your question in the comments, not the chat, so that I can check to see if we have missed you. I cannot believe how fast that hour went by. Our next live stream is 2 weeks from today, January 27th. Noon Pacific time. We're going to talk all about shore excursions. If you are new to our channel, welcome. I hope you're enjoying this fabulous community that has come together over the last 4 years. We love everyone here, and we know that you're going to gain a wealth of information about cruising. So stick around, subscribe, and be sure to follow us on social media. We are at Cruise Tips TV all over the place. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, that's where you're going to find us. Thank you all so much. Thank you to all of our experts today here in the chat for offering up all of this wonderful information. Special thanks to those of you who gave us a little super chat donation. We love you. We appreciate it. We never expect it, but we do appreciate it. Thanks, folks. We will see you in 2 weeks. And until next time, we'll see you on the high seas.
Cruise around the week.
Hey, click me to subscribe.